Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jess from BehatiLife. Thank you so much for tuning in. So let's go ahead and talk about this week ahead, which there's a lot of information to talk about. Things that are going to stress us out, things that are going to provoke us and push us, and things that I really want us to be aware of and mindful of. I feel like I talked about this in our last video from last week's update. But it's time for us to go into it further in super detail because everything's kind of popping off this week. And by this week, I mean starting July 17th until that Sunday. So right now, what I like to do is I like to start off with the energy of the moon and where we're currently sitting. Now the moon changes signs roughly every day or every other day. It's constantly moving. It's the fastest moving planet within the astrological chart, so it's just always changing. For me to even do a report on the different transits and positions of the moon for an entire week could take me like 45 minutes to an hour long to talk about where the moon is going. However, it is something that personally affects us. Right now, currently, we're in the last quarter phase, moon phase of this week, and of the moon transit, like the moon phase. And with this is a time where we are exiting out of that full moon phase where the moon was completely lit up and things are becoming more dark, and the moon becomes more quiet and more reflective. So I really feel like up until the new moon that's upcoming on the 23rd, I feel like just our energy as a whole is going to be it's going to be two things. Either you're going to feel really reflective and quiet and introspective, if that's the right word, or self-examining and needing to reflect a lot, or you're going to feel provoked. And this is because the moon, not only is it moving into a dark phase, preparing for the new moon, and the day of the new moon is the 23rd, so this is about us reflecting and taking time of all the things that kind of occur and bubble up and come to the surface during this time right now, this week. So I also see the moon being like hardcore challenged by all the other planets. As I look at the moon right now, it's currently sitting within the sign of Aries, and today is July 16th. It's about to touch on Uranus. It's just moving out of a square with Pluto, the planet of death and destruction. Heavy sigh. It's it's squaring with the sun, our life energy. It's squaring with Mars, the warrior planet, and in this case, Mars is being provoked and wants to start war. So these are things that it's like a lot of intensity. It doesn't feel comfortable. It doesn't feel good. Emotions are still high. I've been saying that for like the last 2 to 3 weeks. That's because so many planets are moving through the sign of Cancer, and also things are being provoked when they move through the sign of Aries. So, and then those planets are kind of squaring within each other. I hope this makes sense. I hope it's not like astro talk over anyone's head. If you have any questions, comment below. I'd be more than happy to answer them for you. But long story short, emotions have been high for like the last 2 weeks, but I'm just looking at the planets now, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is a lot to deal with. Emotionally, it's a lot to deal with. So let me go ahead and start too by saying that Mars is within the sign of Cancer. Now, I've been saying this again for the longest, that Mars is not comfortable in the sign of Cancer. Cancer is very emotional, it's very sensitive, and Mars doesn't really want to deal with that type of energy. It's more gung-ho, it's more power forward. It doesn't want to stop to factor in feelings or emotions or talk. It's like that person who like never wants to talk about feelings. To talk about your feelings is like way too much. Mars just wants to kind of like drive through, but there's a lot of things that need to be influenced and factored in. So this week, Mars, actually on the 20th, Mars moves out of the sign of Cancer and into the sign of Leo. So I love the sign Cancer. I love all the signs equally, but I feel like Mars moving into Leo is going to be so positive and such a good, refreshing energy changer for Mars, and we're all going to feel this personally. I feel like it allows us to be, it takes the intensity off of things, the emotion that gets kind of caught up in why we do things, why we don't do things, problems, that are kind of resurfacing. It's kind of like so emotional. There's so much that gets caught in it. I also feel like this is going to be great for those who suffer with anxiety or depression. Mars moving out of Cancer kind of takes that intensity off and puts it in a new area, a new field. Now, Leo is known for its expression and creativity and being expressive and putting itself out there and moving from its heart and being big, being bold. So it lightens the energy up a lot. And I liked Mars moving into the sign of Cancer because this meant, like, during that time that I could focus on more things within my home environment, with my family, with my feelings, and being more reflective. But everything needs to be in balance, and too much of anything for too long is too much. So I welcome with big open arms Mars's shift into the sign of Leo. And I know you guys have been feeling it too, because I've been hearing it in your text messages, your phone calls, when we're talking one-on-one in our readings, and I see it in your comments again and again and again, saying, Jess, this has been a lot, this has been intense, I'm emotional, I'm sensitive, I'm having panic attacks, I'm having anxiety. All of this is because of these transits right now. So it's temporary, but it's something that you want to power through. Taking a step back, I want to warn everyone that on the 17th of July, Venus, the planet that rules love and abundance, well, love, beauty, and attraction, is going to be squaring with Neptune. Yeah. Neptune, the planet of illusion and fantasy. Now, there is no such thing as a negative transit, but there are difficult aspects. Neptune gets the worst reputation because of what it rules, but Neptune in the right placement can create like fantasy, like soulmate love, and all those other good things, the feelings of like happily ever after and being swept off your feet or falling in love with the man of your dreams or the woman of your dreams. But in this case, we really want to be mindful. We really want to be aware, because Venus and Neptune, the way that they're aspected during this week, you just don't want to lose yourself in love and lust. I don't think that anybody during this time has negative intentions for anyone. It's just sometimes people get swept away in the illusion, and they don't realize it, whether they're the one who are giving off the illusion. Like, they don't truly realize that they're doing it until it's too late, and that other person is like the other person that was caught in this love triangle or this situation is like destroyed, feeling emotionally destroyed, feeling lied to, cheated on. So that's something that I really want us to be aware of. It's not an easy transit to kind of power through if you're single, because you feel like, you know, you're dealing with like just assholes. And in relationships, it becomes really tricky. I know that Mercury rules communication and our thoughts, but in this case, I really want to connect Venus to the way that people are acting and the way that people are thinking and perceiving stuff, because that's the influence that it has on us. Like, we just kind of believe like things that normally we would question, or we allow ourselves to kind of get swept off our feet, when in reality it's like we need to be grounded and we need to take our time, and the decisions that we make, it feels like it's coming from a place of love, but again, Neptune is like clouding us, so we're reacting, or we're, you know, being swept off our feet. But it's just, you need to give it time. You need it to allow your focus to clear up. You're not seeing things clearly. The decisions that you're making in love, relationships, you really want to put on hold for right now, unless it's something that you've been thinking about for a long time. So just FYI, just really truly be aware. On the 17th, which is tomorrow, it starts on Monday. It's not going to be the easiest transit when it comes, and it's not the cutest, especially not with Venus moving through the sign of Gemini currently right now. Venus in Gemini flits too much around and is non-committal at best. So that squaring with Neptune, it's really hard to take anybody seriously during this time, especially new relationships. And it's hard for you to make up your mind with what you want anyways. So if you're thinking about breaking up during this time, or if something pops off, you want to make sure that you have all the facts before you make a real decision, because it's just, you feel disillusioned. You don't have all of what you need in order to make a decision when it comes to your love relationships. That being said, Also this week, I'm looking at it right now. I feel like Mercury moving to touch, Mercury, the planet that rules our thoughts and our thinking, is going to be touching, that sounds inappropriate, but it's going to be connecting with Saturn, the planet that rules commitment, structure, and responsibility. And I love this because this balances out the energy that Venus and Neptune squaring each other brings. And this doesn't sober our minds, but it makes it helps to kind of counteract the fogginess of Venus and Neptune. So as long as you're not getting swept off in this like fantasy world, I feel like you should be good. Venus trine Saturn happens perfectly on the 19th. So that is actually going to be an excellent day for setting anything in stone, for making decisions, making your mind up, having conversations that, you know, will benefit you long term. But also keep in mind that you want to fact check. You want to make sure that the facts are there, that you're not missing anything, that if you sign your name on something now, because again, Mercury rules contracts and contractual agreements, and Saturn brings in longevity, that you're just looking into the details of whatever it is that you're committing yourself to, and you're going over them with a fine-tooth comb again and again and again, if you have to make a decision during this time. It's not so bad like Mercury retrograde, but I just want you guys to be aware, truthfully, honestly, I wouldn't lie to you, honestly. Bonus points if you know where that's from. Okay, so what else do I have here in my notes? Okay, so so this is positive, but I'm concerned. So on the 18th, let me double check this. Yeah, on the 18th, Venus, the planet of love and abundance, trines Jupiter, the planet that goes overboard. I'm gonna say this, and you heard it here first. I'm not gonna lie to you. So if you're going to make a big purchase, I feel like this is going to be a good thing, because this is something where, like, if you want to treat yourself, or if you want to do something nice for yourself, or if you're having fun, this would be great for that. But I still am so hesitant with Venus and Neptune. I feel like things kind of get like blow. It's like things kind of like, it's like blowing into a balloon, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. But you want to make sure that, well, maybe balloon's not the right metaphor, but it's almost like all this energy can kind of be like blown into this relationship. And this is for what I was talking about earlier with Venus square Neptune. You want to be mindful of disillusionment. You want to be mindful of keeping your feet on the ground, while allowing yourself to put your head in the clouds, but not allowing yourself to like lose complete control of your heart and of what's going on. So I just feel like I'm looking at this, and I see it as things looking larger than life. And normally this would be good, but again, it's that Venus square Neptune that I'm like, fact check. Like, this is the person who can come across like too good to be true, or fun and over the top and exciting and luxurious and generous and all these things. But at the same time, I just want us to be mindful. I don't want anyone to come to me and be like, well, Jess, I started a relationship during this time, which I feel like is going to happen. I feel like I'm going to get emails from people saying I started a relationship during this time, and it was this, and it was this, and we did this, and we went on this trip, and it was magical, and blah, 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 blah. And then I find out later that he has a girlfriend in Croatia. It's like, what? I just feel like that's kind of the vibes and the energy that is kind of brewing here. Any other astrologer will tell you that it's phenomenal, like the transits, but I have to factor in every single piece, and you guys know I will not lie to you. Takes a sip of tea. Anyways, on the 20th, let me know how this goes for you guys, and if, of course, if you ever need help or support throughout any of this, I'm here for you. You already know, and you already have, you know, this information working for you, so at least you know what to expect. But just know that I'm warning you, that I'm telling you what the planets are showing, and that if you make it work for you, then you won't have to, you know, So it's like, okay, if someone does this guy or girl comes out of the blue and she's like Prince Charming or Princess Charming, and you guys are having an amazing time and doing all this fun, exciting stuff, it's like, allow yourself to do it, but don't allow yourself to get swept away and think that this is going to be it forever. Unless it is, but allow time to tell. So you have things that can show these like blessings and good things coming in, but I just don't want anyone to get frustrated and disappointed and feel lied and cheated on or cheated to because they were disillusioned. I love you. Okay. The 20th, I was talking about this earlier. Mars moves into the sign of Leo. I'm really excited about this. Normally I'm not, but it's just been so intense. It's been so intense emotionally for a lot of us. You know, like I was saying before, that image that came to me the first time I looked at this was this sand, like the sand, and then this antenna coming up out of the sand, and you know, the receiver coming out and opening up, and just like people being receptive and picking up on information and vibes, being overly sensitive to it and receiving, like this energy of reception and being open to receive messages and information and signals, things that make us feel uncomfortable. We don't understand why it makes us feel bad. We just know that it doesn't feel right. And that's for a reason. That's what I've been saying since I saw this. That was the image that came to me intuitively, psychically, when I was looking at the chart. And it's been that way. I mean, I've been seeing it after in my emails all across social media, people saying exactly what it was that I was saying was happening. So I really feel like Mars moving into Leo is going to be way, way, way better. Also, the sun starts to move into the sign of Leo on the 22nd, not too far after, and then following that we have that new moon, which I'm excited about. So the sun naturally rules Leo, of course, but I see like energy lifting up a whole lot more. I see positive vibes, positive vibrations, people having more fun, people allowing abundance in their lives, being more creative, being more expressive, and we start to feel that energy shift from emotions and the heaviness of things sometimes into let's have fun, let's play, let's create, let's do this, let's do that. So that's going to be really, really good. Across the board, that's what I see. Anything else that I'm looking at is things that I've talked about before, so if you want to go back and check out the videos from the weeks before, a lot of those transits are still going on. But until then, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this channel. You guys know I love you so much, and I love doing these videos. So make sure that you're subscribed. That way you can stay on top of all of the changes that are going astrologically. You know that I'm pushing these out every week. That I'm having a lot of fun with them. I'm recording them on my phones to make it easier and faster for me to upload. But until then, keep me posted. I love you guys. Talk soon. Bye.